Hey there, hey there, hey there. Happy Wednesday. Yes, today is the first Wednesday. Is it the first Wednesday of March? I don't know. Probably not. But if it ain't, if it is, like the song the Wolf said back in the days, is you ain't my baby. But happy Wednesday to everyone. Today's topic, let me tell you, we're gonna dig in deep. I got to tell you about some amazing things. I don't take anything for granted when I'm invited to a place, when I'm there, when I'm asked to do a certain thing. I never take it for granted because I don't know, or should I say, I don't know where God is taking me per se. He gives me a glimpse, but He doesn't show me the full thing because I think if He did, it would probably scare the mess out of me. But today's podcast, today we're going to be talking about breaking the silence of stigma and stereotypes over our lives. Okay. So, stigma and stereotypes, that's the conversation for today. But I have to go in the beginning of what we are doing. Your girl is speaking this weekend. Yes, I am a part of the Empower Her for Hope 2025 movement. Let me tell you, I'm so excited to be in the room with all these amazing ladies. I consider it as an honor. I consider it also as a way of God giving me that platform to be able to be the voice for mental health out here that's breaking stigmas, that's taking away stereotypes of what's going on in today's society. It breaks my heart every time when I sit down and talk to someone and they don't take mental health into consideration until something really happens. I'm here to destigmatize the whole thing, to give you a clear definition of not everybody has a mental issue. We all get sad. We're human. So we're all going to experience sadness. We're all going to experience some form of sadness in our life. Feeling tired and overwhelmed doesn't mean that you're depressed. Just because you want to lay in the bed, your body may be telling you that you need to rest a little bit. But back to this topic, just Empower Her for Hope 2025. If you have not gotten your ticket to come and sup with me and the ladies, go to all of my social media platforms. The registration was there. Let me tell you, you're going to want to be in the room, honestly, because it also gives you an opportunity to meet people, to network with people, to see what's going on out here. Like I said, I consider it as really an honor to be able to be in the room with great people. And like God said, He'll put you in the room where your name just comes up. And my name came up, and I appreciate this. Also on the 17th of March through the 21st, I'm also on this platform, the 50 Plus and Flirting Dating Summit. I am one of the speakers on the panel for this. If you have not gotten your ticket to come there, come sign up for it. I believe it's online. Uh, and I don't believe she's charging, but you can sign up to be a part of the dating pool that is going on. There are great people out here, you guys. There are amazing men and women out here that really want love. I remember years ago, a young lady said, "Where are all the good men?" I said, "They're there. They're looking for you when you show up in the right character, when you show up as the right person, when you show up as the person that good man, or even for men, where are all the good women? When you show up and not be the representative because you're so afraid of your past hurts till you don't want to give a person an opportunity. You never know. I think Tyler Perry, and a lot of people say this about Tyler Perry, but I think Tyler Perry summed it up on one of his movies when he sat up there and he said, "Gosh, GPS, you sitting up there, you're so busy till you're not paying attention that God has you on a GPS system, and He could be saying, go here and meet that person, or go there and meet that person. You're going to meet a lot of people, but it's for you to learn from that person to be able to take it and gather what you need so you can be best prepared for the person that you are to be with." And I said this even in my book, Unconditional Love, One Woman's Journey to Spiritual Freedom. I said this even in my book. A lot of people are with people that they have no business being with. Let that person go and be with the right person they need to be with, and stop making your own self miserable behind all that's going on. I'm just here. I'm gonna tell you, unapologetic. I'm gonna define that to you about me, as well as what it means to be, for stigma as well as stereotype. Also, if you have not gotten your team, if you have not decided that you want to sponsor, if you have not donated, if you have not signed up to be a vendor, this is our first annual for the Love of Basketball and Mental Health Awareness fundraiser. I, I Mika, when when I tell you, this young lady that I met, Mika Diamond, said this so clear. I don't use scripture to make it fit for me. I'll In my sessions we talk and I'll bring up a scripture, but I'm saying that scripture for that person to understand what it is that they need at that time. So with this is all about the community. This is all about getting the word out there. It can't go forward without the necessary wheels that it needs to take. That write the vision, make it plain. I've written a vision because it was given to me to do so. And it says that they will take off with it. So I'm asking you to take off with it. It is for 18 and up for the teams. It's 3-on-3, half court, FIBA rules. You will have an opportunity to play at least three teams on each court, depending on how many people sign up. It is really for a worthy cause, and we're going to be sponsoring different organizations that are out here impacting the community. It's not about me. It's not about me at all. It's about me helping you to get the things out there that the Black and brown culture is missing. You know what? Not just the Black and brown culture, everybody is missing it. Let's get this together. Let's get this thing popping. This will be the first year. I'm looking forward to doing it for years on end. Also, the symposium is coming back. The symposium that we're doing, the Tonight is the Night symposium, that's coming back. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this train. Get on this train, ride this train. And I'm the type of person I support, but I don't support you because I want you to support me. I support because support is needed. Support is always needed to help other people know that you're in your right lane and you got this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this segment. Stigma, stereotypes. Let's have this conversation. Bring your questions. I'm telling you right now, I'm on this podcast. And if you're not taking the opportunity to get this 30-minute, this 1 hour, sometimes over, and for therapy session for free, because you're getting this right now for free. This is a free session for you. So you have all the questions. You want to ask the questions, ask me some questions, sign in on Facebook, ask me questions. I'm here. But the main thing for me is I want you to be well aware. My people perish for lack of knowledge. We're perishing as underserved communities when it comes to mental health and mental health awareness. I need you to put your best foot forward and know that the services are out here. Even if you have to contact your insurance company and find out what's your deductible, find out what your copay is for specialties, for services, for mental health. Go talk to somebody. You have the employee assistance program. Call them. Get the services that you need. It's not saying something is wrong. It's always good. You can go talk to your homeboy and your homegirl about it. Why you can't come and talk to a therapist that's really going to give you clear insight. And then, like I say over and over again, you never know what your friend, family member, or whoever is going through something. They're growing through something. And you don't know what you may tell them may take them over the edge. Don't do that. You care about them. You love them. Let them know, hey, I'm not a professional at this. Go and talk to somebody else that may be able to help you. Hey, I know this young lady who's on podcast every Wednesday. Ask her the questions. She says she's available to answer the questions. Because I'm telling you, you got me on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Thursday through the next Tuesday, I charge. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's getting bigger because they say when you get more alphabets behind your name, the price go up. But I try and stay in the market to help those who are underserved in our community. Now, when we talk about stigma is when someone sees you in a negative way because of a particular character or attitude. When it comes to mental health, breaking the stigma of somebody seeing you in a certain particular way because of a certain character, a certain attitude, or something of that. I say this over and over again. Just because you see somebody walking down the street doesn't mean that they're talking to the spaceships or anything like that. A lot of people, I even do it. When I'm walking, I'm praying. I'm talking, my lips are moving, I'm talking to God. I'm having full conversation. Sometimes you have to talk out things to best understand what's going on. Sometimes just they may have headsets on. When it comes to mental health, if they're not harming themselves in some type of ways, such as self-harming, cutting, running out inside in front of cars, that's when you call 911. Just because somebody's walking down the street and they're moving their lips don't mean that they're mentally having issues. Stop doing that. That's what they're talking about when they're talking about stigmas and stereotypes. Because you see these things, you think, oh, Google Eyes said that, and I said it right, Google Eyes, because a lot of people go to Google and self-diagnose themselves. Google Eyes and said, oh, because a person is walking down the street and they're moving their lips, that they're talking to themselves. I live in Spring. I'm just going to say it. I'm over here where the wide variety of mental health patients are because I've worked at the hospitals over here in this area. I know 45. But a lot of those people that are on the streets that are doing this stuff, turning flips, that don't mean that they crazy. And I'm using the word crazy because that's the first thing that come out of people's mouth. Oh, they're crazy because they're turning flips and they're talking to themselves. And no, they're not. They're not. As long as they're not running in front of cars, and they will check themselves in a hospital if they know that they're having a crisis. Okay. Stereotypes is a widely held, over simplified, and often unfair belief about a group or people or a thing. Those two words, take them out of your dictionary. Because one, until you understand what stigma really is. Two, until you fully understand and feel how somebody stereotyped you. How do you feel if somebody stereotyped you? How would you feel if somebody characterized your situation, and just because you're sitting at your desk at the job and you're humming and you're moving your head, and they're sitting up there saying to themselves, oh, so and so must be crazy, or they must be having a breakdown, or they must be having an issue. How would you feel if somebody stigmatized you and stereotyped you? They're doing that to our children. They're doing this to our children because they're having, your kid is so full of energy. Think about the stuff that they're eating every day. If you think about the stuff that they're eating every day, they have a burst of energy. So because they have a burst of energy, you're thinking that they need to be on medication and they need to calm down and they need to do this and they need to do that. No. As a therapist, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to say it very unapologetically because I said it before. I'm going to do it again, and I'm not on my soapbox, but I just want you to understand. Just because a kid is running around with a lot of energy, give them something to do, not medication. Their brains are not fully developed yet. Your brain is not fully developed until you're 25 for a female and 27 for a male. Okay? Just think about puberty when you go through puberty. Girls start puberty before boys do. Stop putting people in boxes. Stop putting people inside of these carts and because you don't have a full understanding. You see these degrees back here? I mastered it. And I'm going for my PhD. Just letting you know. Because I have a heart for our community, for us to understand. Now we can get it. We can get it when it comes to taxes, and we can get it when it comes to, oh, I want to be in a financial situation, but it all starts with the mental. It starts with a thought. It all starts here first. If you get your mind right, you get your finances right, you get your health right. Everything's, if you even go, and I'm getting ready to do that too. Talk about the biblical standpoint of mental health. Okay. Thank you, Tasha. Hey, Lynn. Hey, click tight. Yes, thank you for joining in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really want us to be in a better place when it comes to mental health for the Black and Brown culture, as well as every culture, because we don't take mental health serious until everything falls apart. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. We our culture don't take mental health serious until everything falls apart. Okay, you don't think about it until your cousin attempts suicide, or your mom, or we as a culture don't take stuff serious until it happens, and then it becomes this high emphasis of something. Everybody's talking about it until it dies down like it's a fad. Do you not know how many Black people are dying a day on mental health, overdosing, attempts of suicide? Do you not know how many people are? I'm gonna bring you the statistics because we're so far behind. Because we have this fear that, oh, if I tell somebody that I'm not sleeping for 3 days at a time, that they're gonna think something is wrong with me. Hey, Shirley. If I tell somebody that I'm seeing things, that they're gonna say, oh, something's wrong with me. Or if I'm at a point where I'm almost ready to lose my job, and I'm thinking I'm not good enough, or I have nobody to talk to, no outlet to be able to say you're safe, to be able to say you're okay. Hey, Giovanna, I enjoyed you this weekend, girlie. You were off the chain at the event. I'm gonna tell y'all about my trip to Dallas. It was amazing. But having a safe space and having somebody to talk to when you're encountering these things, when if you're having these moments where you do want to just close the blinds and just go to sleep, or let me tell you, if a person wants to commit suicide, they're not going to tell you nothing. They're not going to say nothing to you. What they're going to do is they're going to be getting in touch with their loved ones. Their loved ones are going to be sending letters to them. They're going to be selling their stuff. Hey, Jessica, they're going to be, just, again, if somebody's going to commit suicide, they're not going to tell you. You're going to be the last to know. You're going to be the last to find out. And then when you get there and you find out that that person harmed themselves, it's not about you. It's not. The whole thing is not about you. When a person wants to commit suicide, it's about the pain that they're enduring. And they have no outlet. And they have nobody to talk to. Because what? 9 times out of 10, you didn't call them and told them all your problems. Oh, I can't pay my light bill. Oh, I can't pay my house note. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. And you don't know exactly what they're dealing with on the other side of that phone. Or you don't know what they're dealing with when they say, let's have lunch. Somebody say, let's go have lunch, may just need your presence, your smile, your hug, just to take them out of a dark place. And I say this again, I love, love, love my life coaches. I do. I love you with all things above. I love you to life. But when you find your person going down a rabbit hole, call us, please. Call us. We're the ones. You can't pull them out that rabbit hole. We're the ones that can get them the medication they need. And I'm holistic. Okay. Let me help you understand something. I'm very holistic. I have nurse practitioners on call. I have psychiatrists on call. I have people on call. But the main thing of it is when you are experiencing something such as that, you have 988 that you can call. And I'm a part of that team, the 988 team, because if there's a psychiatric crisis, I work for a major corporation and I can't disclose that because it would be a conflict of interest. And I'm not trying to take their customers, but I work where I can see things you can't see. I've worked in hospitals that I could see stuff nobody has seen. I've sent people to state hospitals and I've worked with people from state hospitals. You ain't seen the stuff that I've seen. Some of the stuff, we can't even make that stuff up. And I'm telling you right now, we cannot make that stuff up. So I tell people when I was doing trainings at the hospital that I was working for, and I did trainings for new hires. And I'm going to the stigma and the stereotype situation. Working in there, and I would do trainings, and I would tell people all the time, come in with an open mind, but say what you mean and mean what you say to the clients that come inside of here. Because when you come in there and you like, oh, I'm sorry you went through all that. I'm sorry. No, they don't want that. They get enough of that out here in this world. They want somebody that's going to be like, look, let me tell you something. I'm here for you, but you're not finna sugarcoat nothing for me. You're not finna tell me no lies. You need to tell me the truth because that's the only way I can help you. That's who I am. That's unapologetic. That's how I am with my clients. When you come to that door, it's judgment free, but you're not going to come in and not tell me the truth because how can I help you if you tell me a lie? So even when I would do the trainings with the staff there, I would tell them, hey, say what you mean what you say, because they know that you care when you're straightforward with them. So I would also tell them, I've seen 5 different kind of clients. 5 different kind of clients. One, those who are functioning don't need medication, but if you need something, you know how to go and talk to a therapist. You're honest about your situation enough to know that you can go and talk to a therapist or a social worker. 2, you need a little bit of medication. You're not there quite yet, but you can go and talk to a therapist or a social worker. 3, you need medication. Sometimes you may need a little bit of stuff where you got to go sit off to the side and go inside of a clinic and whatnot and stay a couple of days, a day or so, just to get your medication adjusted. 4, you're on the meds. You ain't been taking your medication. So now you need to stay at least 7 days to get back acclimated on those medications. So you may go inside of a place like they used to have Intercare. I don't know if it's still there. You have Sun Behavior, Houston Behavior, HCPC, NPC. You have all these locations that you can go and get evaluated and whatnot. Harris Center, different locations you can go and get evaluated by a psychiatrist. Yes. Or psychologist. Yes. And then you have those who are far beyond. They're far beyond the medication. They need to stay a little bit longer. I've been around those where I had to go and do filings to make sure they stay a little longer to get the medication. Talk to family members. Here's my background. I was a tech before in a mental hospital. Then I went from a tech to a court liaison. Court liaison means I file documentations with the courts. Then I went to a patient advocate where I talk to parents, talk to family members, giving them the best advice about what to do with that family member when they're coming. Yeah, Giovanna, Harris Center, Harris Health. Yeah, they're another one too. Um, that helping families, letting them know, hey, if we need to find these triggers that are going on. Life coaches call it red flags. We call them triggers. And also mania, when the family member is having mania. Also, I did the part where I had to do the documentations, getting with other companies, other facilities to get the patient where they needed to go. I've appeared in court a couple of times. I have some great, amazing people that I've dealt with, worked with for years. So now they're calling me. It's like, are you licensed yet? Yes. Yeah, we got it. We're gonna go on, because I've been telling them for years that's what I was gonna do. And now I'm at the point where I can actually sit down with clients, give them all of that, give families all of that. I'm here, you guys. I am exactly where I need to be, where God has put me to help our culture, um, our community, and what is needed the most. Okay. I tell my story. And when I tell my story, it's not to stigmatize myself or to put myself in a situation. My journey started when I was 14. Period, point blank. Honestly, it did. That's when I had my first bout with depression, my first bout with crying spells. And during that time, people didn't know what that was. And that's when I said to myself, I needed to be that person that people would know and understand. If your child is having a crying spell, if they're depressed, if they're sad, if they're, what are they encountering? What are they experiencing? Stop going to Google and diagnosing yourself. Please stop. Please stop doing that. You can research the symptoms, but then I run into, and I'm going to say it, I run into a lot of hypochondriacs because they feel like this is going on, that's the symptom that they have, and that's not necessarily so. You know, mental health is nothing to play with. It is not anything to play with. We have so many diagnoses out here. We, in this mental health culture, therapists and social workers, we have this huge book, and it's called the DSM-5. It has, oh my God, you talking about diagnosis in there. There's so many things. But here's the thing, if I had to give you a little bit of history, let's go back to where Sigmund and Freud, and I'm going to tell you, that's how we had to study. We had to learn where mental health actually came from and how these diagnoses actually come about from these great inventors, Sigmund Freud. You're talking about Epperson. You're talking about different Pearson, Piaget. Do you know these people? No, we studied those. We were the ones who had to go to school and learn the history. Piaget, Jane Piaget, all these people. We had to even test for this, and these tests are not cheap. Okay, we had to take tests to know what these modalities are that we're doing out here. So when I say stigma, when I'm talking about stereotype, stop putting that out there, because your kid is running around. Just stop eating them hot Cheetos and them Takis, because the food coloring and all this stuff. But I'm not a dietitian. I don't know anything about. I'm just saying, when your kid has a lot of energy, take them somewhere and let them burn the energy off. Don't sit up there and say they need medication. That's not always the fact. It's not. And honestly, I don't give nobody no diagnosis under the age of 18. It's simple. I don't give you a harsh diagnosis, should I say. I don't give harsh I may say destructive disorder or, something like that, to that effect, but not a harsh diagnosis, because what we fail to realize in the stigma and the stereotype, if you go further back, when you call the child mentally retarded, but they were not mentally retarded, they may have just had dyslexia. But When they now on their school records, they have on there that they're mentally retarded when they're not. Learning disability is something so small. Stop stigmatizing people. Stop stigmatizing kids. Stop stigmatizing adults. Let me tell you, I've seen drug induced psychosis, but not everybody's system is going to have them with drug induced psychosis. Okay. Be mindful of what you do and what you inhale and what you do inside of your body. Okay. The reason why I say I'm unapologetic is because of my passion and my lack of, I don't regret what I went through in my life. I don't regret it at all because my story will help somebody. So you won't find me regretting anything that transpired in my life from the age of 14 to being married, to being a teen mom, to being raped, to being all this other stuff. You don't know my story. The only thing I can do is tell you about it in hopes that it helps you out. I know it helps a lot of young girls that I talk to, that I mentor, a lot of young men that I talk to and mentor, because I'm going to give you that unconditional love. I'm going to give you that love that, you need, and unapologetically. Unconditional love because I'm giving it to you with no conditions because I want you to be the best version of yourself. So, if you have any questions or anything that you want me to address while we're talking about stigma and stereotypes, I'm on Facebook. You can send a message on here. We can talk about it because I'm open for it. I'm not fed up in an anger type of way where I'm on a soapbox talking about it. I'm more heart concerned about this ongoing thing that's happening in the community to where nobody wants to talk about mental health until something happens. Nobody wants to address the elephant in the room until something happens. I said this past weekend, and I say this all the time, those stigmas and cliches. What happens in the house stays in the house. What happens in the family stays in the family. And that's why a lot of families are sick. A lot of families are sick. And I'm going to say the word sick because any two ways you keep this whole thing going over and over again, you're not teaching your daughters that if a man hits her, that's not okay. You're not teaching your sons if a woman hits you, that's not okay. Because we were taught, oh, if somebody hits you, hit them back. But when they get older, it's like, no, don't hit them because you're going to go to jail. You need to best address these situations with our kids, and we need to have open communication because a lot of these kids are losing themselves. I said this over and over again before I even became a therapist. I wanted to capture the generations that everybody is missing because we're too afraid to have those conversations. And even at schools, addressing the mere fact of if a young man touches you inappropriately, you have every right to speak up. Same thing for a young man. If a young woman walks over to you and grope you in any type of way, you have a right to speak up. But we've been silenced for so long because it's like, oh, if you say it, you're lying. Or if you talk about that, that's a lie. Or if we address that, that's a lie. No, holding on to a lie is causing a lot of people a lot of heartache. And another thing I want to bring up, everybody has not had childhood trauma. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody has not experienced childhood trauma. Some people don't experience trauma until they get in their teens, or some people don't experience until they get adults. Some people don't experience until they become, middle-aged adults. Some people don't experience trauma until they're in their older age. Everybody has not experienced childhood trauma. So stop. Stop doing that. Stop saying that everybody's experienced childhood trauma because that is not true. Because I can say if I gave you the exam that we have to give people for childhood trauma, it'll be a lot of people who has not experienced love that was abusive, you know, conversations that was abusive, where your mom or your dad is calling you idiot, stupid, dumb, all this other stuff. Your teachers is saying all these. Not everybody has experienced that, you guys. So stop it. That's the thing that I want to break for us. That's the thing that I'm talking about breaking for us. So understanding the trauma and the stigmas is what we need to address. If you got questions about that, I'm here to answer it. Let's be real and let's be honest with ourselves. Okay. I've started doing mental health checks. If your mental health is not checked daily, you need to check it. Okay. What's your temperature? What's going on? What's going on with everything that's happening with you? Did you wake up this morning? How is your anxiety? How is Anxiety is the key thing. How is your anxiety? I always say if it's over 5, we need to talk, because there's something that's underlying that we need to address. Even in my sessions, I tell people, when you come in, we're getting to the grassroots, we're getting to the underlying issue, because we can't get there until we address here. And when we address here, then we can get there. And then if we can address here, then we can get to that space, and then we can get there. But I need everyone to understand the difference between stigma and stereotype. Stop. We have to have real conversation and stop repeating everything that you hear. Stop repeating everything that somebody says. Stop repeating and putting those things out there in the atmosphere. Oh, little Bobby is bad. He's not bad. He's just active. What do you do with that? Now it's gotten to a point where kids are in school, and as soon as a teacher see them act out, because they're not acting like the other kids that are over there picking a book or this, that, and the other, then something is wrong with that kid. There's nothing wrong with that kid. That kid needs something else to do. Teachers, come on, my teachers. Y'all already know, because I was a substitute teacher before. Not every kid learned the same at all. Every kid doesn't learn the same. So then that's putting a kid in a stigma box as well. That's also putting that kid, making them as something of a stigma, stereotyping the kid because they're acting a certain way. Then they're bad. They're learning slow. Stop. As a culture, we need to stop. And this is why I am doing this call to action with everybody that I know. If you know anybody who is of 18 and above that can do this tournament, I want this to really speak volumes to our community, to let them know that we're not putting up with it anymore. We're not putting up with any more stigmas. We're not putting up with any more stereotypes. We're going to get the knowledge that we need to understand what it is and how we can tell if somebody's really having a mental breakdown, if somebody's really needing help and they're in a crisis, if somebody is really having issues, instead of believing that they are having an issue because of what you read on Google or what you thought somebody else said. Oh, that kid acted like this, so my kid acts like that too. That's not the same for everybody. Everybody don't ride in the same boat. Okay. Everybody's not riding in the same boat. Everybody's not on the same wavelength. And again, let's go and have real conversation. Let's have real conversation about mental health. Okay. Let's have real conversation to where you can learn what's the trigger. Find out what a trigger is. You want to know what a trigger is? It can be something that you endured before that you thought you were good at, that you were no longer had any issues with. Then all of a sudden something happens. I'm going to take it a step further for you. If you've ever been in a car wreck, thank you, Aileen. If you ever been in a car wreck And when you were in that car wreck and it was so bad, to now when you get inside of a car, you're constantly, it's like, oh, you don't know if somebody else gonna hit you, or that can be triggering. That can be debilitating to where now you're afraid to be inside of a car because you're concerned if somebody's going to hit you or if somebody's going to run in front of the car or something like that. Those are triggers. That's a trigger because you're driving and you're concerned about that happening. So just the same, mental health. If you are domestically abused, let's talk about domestic violence. If you've been abused before, male or female, and you come across a person that you really like, and then all of a sudden they make a movement, that becomes a trigger because you're thinking they finna do the same thing somebody else did to you before. That's when I step in. That's when I come in and help you find those triggers, find that underlying issue. What is causing that trigger? Was it because that person swung back and you thought that they was going to swing forward and hit you? How can we change that behavior? Mental health, when we talk about therapists, we talk about cognitive behavioral theory. That's what we deal with. Cognitive behavioral therapy, theory. We deal with cognitive, what is another one? CPT, which is that deals with PTSD. We deal with those. So postpartum stress disorder, adjustment disorder, when you're adjusting. And I usually talk about adjustment disorder when I'm talking about grief. Let's talk about grief. Okay. Grief can come in many different aspects. When we talk about grief, it could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a divorce. It could be changing of a different state. It could be changing of a different relationship. It could be many different things. And I go into that and we find out best coping skills to help you get to your best self, being that you're now divorced. How do you take life back when you're divorced? When you lose your job, how do you take life back? Because you're thinking, oh, I can't pay my bills anymore. Well, starting a company may not be the best thing for you, but how can you best apply what you have learned? Here's another thing I tell people. Stop looking at your job as a job. Look at it as you're getting paid to learn. I talk about this too. You're getting paid to learn. So what you've learned at that job, you can take it to the next level. Just the same as a relationship. What you learn in that relationship, you can take that to the next one. So I'm telling you, I am here for the community. I can't stress it enough. I love you all to life. I want to see you here on this earth. Like I say again, nobody, not a Nathaniel is going to tell you if they want to commit suicide. Because a lot of times as a mental health professional, when I talk to individuals that say that they want to kill themselves, I ask them, what's the reason? Give me a reason. Tell me a reason why you feel like you need to take your life. First of all, you didn't give yourself life. Tell me the reason why you want to take your life. What is so detrimental to you that you feel like you need to leave this earth without completing your assignment? I've even had clients that come to me when I tell them about suicide and what it meant. And they're like, I don't agree. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. And I tell them that all the time. We can agree to disagree. That's just who I am. I'm going to agree to disagree with you. Why do you feel like you need to take your life? Because then there we go. Because you felt like you needed to take your life. Either you're going to be put inside of the stigma or you're going to be put inside of the stereotype. One of those categories. Because when you feel like you can't talk to nobody, when you feel like you can't address whatever that issue is with the proper person, Then, like I said, society puts you in to the stigma arena or to the stereotype. It's not us, therapists, that's putting you into these arenas. Society. Let's talk about society. We see all this stuff go on in society. You got people posting their marriages. You got people posting their jobs. You got people posting their new things that they're doing. You got all of this going on. True enough, you're to watch it. You can. But I also tell people to be mindful because you can overstimulate your brain watching too much social media. And what I mean by overstimulate your brain, because then you start thinking that's your life. You start thinking that's the life you need to live. You start thinking that, oh, you're not living the life that you're supposed to be living because you got this person over here and on social media, their life is like this. And oh, I'm so behind on how I'm supposed to be living. I'm so far behind. I don't have the money I'm supposed to have. I'm not so. No. Change your mind. Change your mindset. Just one thought. We're all just one thought away. You hear people say, oh, I'm just one paycheck away from being broke. No, you're not. You're one thought away from being broke. You're one thought away from being stigmatized. You're one thought away from being put into a stereotype. You're one thought away from society saying that you should be this way. I'm gonna tell you unapologetically. Yeah. I had to learn it myself. I'm gonna say it. I come from experience. I'm not coming at you from book. And I tell my clients that too. I'm not coming at you from book. I'm coming at you from experience. I've already read enough books. I've already not really read enough books. I'm talking about as far as graduating with my license, with my master's. I've already studied enough. I'm talking about you being real with you. You can take yourself out of that stigma. You can take yourself out of that stereotype. You can take yourself out of society thinking that you're supposed to be this way when you're actually where you need to be. You can change it with one thought. Change your mind. I said this in January. We started all these vision boards and vision board parties and all this other stuff. Those who are doing these vision boards and vision board parties, why don't y'all hire a therapist to come sit down and talk to the people? To give them a clear sight of writing the vision and making it plain. Because a lot of people come to these events with pure hope that what they put on that board, they're going to have and that they're going to see in their life and they're going to do in their life. And those things may not happen overnight. Those things can take years. Those things can take months. Those things can change. Won't you invite one of us, a therapist or a social worker, to sit down and talk to the people about mental health? You don't see people put that on their vision board. You don't see people put, oh, I'm going to work on my mental health on their vision board. You don't see people, and I had a guest the other week, and we were talking about relationships and how she said she wanted a drug dealer and all this other stuff. That's what she said she wanted, and that's what she got. But writing the vision and making it plain. Writing the vision and making it plain. Not pictures, writing. Okay? Do your research about what it is that you want, how you want your mental health to impact your life in a better way. Get out of that stigma box. Get out of that stereotype. Just because you're a single mom and just because I'm a single mom. Okay. I'm a single dad. Okay. And what you going to do with that? Oh, I'm divorced. Okay. And what you going to do with that? You can be a statistic. I'm not going to be a statistic because I'm going to change my mindset. When we talk about stigma, someone who sees you in a negative way. So you want society to see you in a negative way. So now you're a stigma. I'm all about debunking, eradicating stigmas. We're not doing this. Not on my watch. Not, I mean, until God take my breath, I'm not doing this without culture. We're not doing that. Stereotypes. Stereotypes widely held over, simplified, and often unfair belief. It's unfair for somebody to believe that you're a certain type of way and put you in a stereotype. And you need to stop putting yourself in there. I just gave you a couple examples. Single mom, what you gonna do? And I talked about that too. Are you gonna break these generational barriers with your daughters and your sons to believe that they should not be on welfare for the rest of their lives and living in housing and in public housing until they 50 and yeah, no, we're not doing that. I don't talk about politics, but if you really want to go there, that's what they're targeting. These generations that keep these barriers going, the stereotypes, the stigmas going. That's what they're talking about. You want to be a voice? Stand up. Stop being a stereotype. Stop being a part of that stereotype. Teach your daughters, teach your sons, teach your grandchildren. I'm a grandmother. I have a grandson and a granddaughter. Those are my whys. My why? What? How? And yes. So I broke that down for you. The why, W-H-Y. What am I going to do to make sure that my grandchildren do not have to deal with that? Do not have to deal with government telling them how to live and where to live and what to do. How am I going to do that? What I'm doing right now. Getting out here, talking to people. You can say that I'm on my soapbox. It's what it is. I'm unapologetic. I have no regrets. I'm not backing down. And the letter Y. Ask me why he can't is. That's the name of my company. Why he can't. Romans 2:11. God has no respect of person. None. If he do it for me, he'll do it for you. But you got to get out of these stereotypes. You got to stop making up cliches about why you can't do this and why you can't do that, and then being a part of the stigma. Being a part of the way people see you negatively. We are a very creative culture. The Black race? Come on now. Hispanic race? Y'all need to stop. For real. Exactly. Respectfully. Like I was saying. Respectfully. Y'all need to stop. Unapologetically, you need to live life to the fullest. I'm here. I'm here for it. And I accept my assignment. I accept my assignment. This past weekend, I went to Dallas. And I went there for a brunch that was being held by a beautiful person, Rebecca. And Rebecca did her first annual brunch in Dallas. It was an amazing thing. I anytime I go somewhere, I'm going to learn. And I'm a overexcited person. I like to push women when I'm in a room. So I may say some things that be like, oh, she kind of bold and arrogant. No, you may take it as that, but I take it as being bold and arrogant and to push you to the next level, because I'm not to sugarcoat anything for you. That's not me. I'm not getting spiritual diabetes behind nobody. But the event was so great. The ladies showed up. The food was amazing. The whole atmosphere was good. The host, Mika Diamond, was amazing. I got a chance to meet some great women, and I'm going to continue to push you unapologetically. That's just me. I'm just unapologetic about what I do. I'm going to push you because if I don't, I'll be lying to myself to say that I'm my sister's keeper. And we had that conversation at the table. What does it mean to be my sister's keeper? And I did a speaking. I spoke about that some years ago at a retreat with my Dallas sisters. Some more Dallas sisters at a retreat. And for me, sisterhood is reciprocity and integrity. I'm going to give you integrity because what I do in front of you, I'm going to make sure I do behind you. If I'm going to show up for you in the front, I'm going to celebrate you in the back. I don't do it for you to do anything back for me. Because you know why? Because God has no respect of person. That's why he did why he can't. He has no respect of person. You may not be the person to celebrate me in the front nor in the back. But my integrity demands my reciprocity to be able to give it back to you. That takes me out of the stigma. That takes me out of being stereotypical. I'm not a woman out here hating on no other woman because I don't know your story. And your story is not my story. I'm not here to do that. Anybody that knows me knows that I celebrate. And I'm not celebrating out of jealousy or any type of thing. I'm just that's me. That's Morticia. You know, Morticia from the Addams family, where she was in the dark, but I'm in the light. That's where I am. So, if you were not here in the beginning, I will be speaking this Saturday. I will be in a room with some amazing women that I'm going to celebrate. Because that's just me. I will be at the Empower Her Hope Conference 2025. And I thank JTV. I thank them for even honoring the fact of bringing me in to be with some great people in this room. I will be there speaking with Amanda Edwards, attorney and politician. If you have not gotten your ticket to come inside of this room, just come and sit. Come and sit and just gather. You never know what's in that room for you. I believe the topic I'm talking on is divine guidance. I'll talk about that for real. Then on the 17th, I think that's Monday, I'm on that platform, 50 plus and flirting. I think I'm going to talk to my geriatric clients about this. You know, some of them say they don't want no relationship, that they're done. They're happy. They just like to go and play cards and dominoes wherever they are. I love the geriatric people. I call them seasonal citizens. I love them because they are so seasoned with knowledge. But getting them to talk to, and I'm finding more beginning to talk to therapists because they want something to talk about. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. To sit there and talk to them and hear their story, you know, and help them deprogram things that they've learned before. And you can help them change their mind. So I'm a part of this. You can register for that. It's free. VIP options are available, but the summit is free. It's online, but it's free. I will be on there. And you look, I'm gonna tell you my age. Come on. But dating summit, I'm a speaker on there. Contact your girl about it. Let's talk about it. I turned 54 and proud of it this year. I turned 54. I'm a mother of 4. I was sitting up there talking to some other people saying, you know, my youngest is beginning to be 30, like they say, dirty 30, but ain't nothing dirty about being 30. But she turns 30. And all of my kids will be in their 30s. And I just love being with them. I enjoy that. So also, here it is again. I made this quote on social media. People want to know what you care about. You can talk all day long, but until you show them what you really care about, they'll listen. The right people. Okay. You want to sponsor? Sponsorship is easy. Now for the teams, it's 250. That's for 5 people. If you really think about it, that's $50 a person. I don't like to talk about people finances because I don't like getting in people's pockets. But this is $50 a person to be on a team of 5, 3 people playing on a court at a time. There will be food, there will be games, there will be prizes to get inside for adults 12 and up, well 13 and up. It's $10. I think it's 5 for anybody that's 3 and up, but it's going towards a worthy cause. And if you know somebody that's out there, I got a chance to meet a young lady. I think her organization is called Jaden's Heart. Let me tell you, her story is amazing. Her kid, she lost a kid in an accident, and we want to be able to help families and stuff like that, give them the information to know about what mental health is, be a part of the fundraiser, give donations. We accept donations. Contact us. We'll get you all of that information on our social media pages. We're doing a call to action because it's time out for us to be in the stigma and stereotype setting. It's time out for that. Be a voice. Talk about what's going on. Let everybody know, um, Click tight. I'm not laughing at you right now. I was about to say 56. No, I'm not 56. I'm gonna tell on you for real. That's the family. And if you really want to go there, click tight. I'll do like grandma used to do. I'm turning 54 this year. That really means 45. But that was how she did it. So for anybody who really want to be a part of it, contact me. Also, you want to be a guest on the show? Come be a guest on the show. If you want us to promote anything for you on our podcast channel, contact us. We'll let you know how that can happen. Look, I have a 9 to 5. What I get from why he can't goes back into the community. I'm a therapist on the other side. What I make, and I'm just disclosing that information, and I really don't have to, but I'm letting you know what is giving to this tournament goes to the community. Don't do that. Don't be that way. Don't act like that. And we make things as feasible as possible. We're not out there charging, thousands of dollars. Now it's gonna get to that point when I start speaking worldwide. Yeah, it's happening. I got some things in store that I've been asked to do, talking about mental health. I'm telling you right now, come April, be ready for it. It's going to change. The whole atmosphere is changing. I'm bringing nurse practitioners on here. I'm bringing people from the Mental Health Society on here, talking about it. Even in March, my statement stands true. When you know better, you do better, and you can respond better. So let's know about stigma and stereotypes. Let's do the right thing and take ourselves out of that. And when we respond, to know that you're not a stigma, you're not statistical, you're not a statistic. Take yourself out of that one thought away. Contact your girl. Let your girl know what you got going on. Let me show up, like my girl Erica B say on the Save the City Morning Show. Let me show up and show out for you. Let me go ahead and hip you up to the real about mental health. And if you are a therapist, psychiatrist, social worker, contact me, because there's some things that need to be done in the community, and people need to know that you care, and you need to be that voice, because some things about to happen with this government. That's all I got to say. Some things about to happen with this government, and people are going to need us real bad, deeply, really bad. So, blessings upon blessings to you all. This is a year of uncomprehensive, human, beyond human comprehension blessings bestowed on everybody. Okay. Thank you again for being a part of my Wednesday podcast, The Unapologetic Therapist. I'm here to show you love unconditionally. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell my clients, you may not like me, but I love you unconditionally. It's your girl, Martisha Sherman, that unapologetic therapist. Let's get this done. Let's break these stigmas and these stereotypes and put us in the right mindset to where we can be the best and live the best life that's for us. I'll see you all next Wednesday.